It's Payday 2, the video game. Get over it. It's Payday 2. I'm not even looking at the camera. It's Payday 2.
It's Monday.
You can get paid on... It's no secret that I enjoy the game Payday. The almost 20-minute long video where I gush at the end about all the friends I've made should be evidence enough that this is a title near and dear to my heart. And with the current goings-on at Overkill, I think it's worth bringing up again. You see, as I mentioned in the art, this is a goddamn professional set, and you have your phone on? Excuse me. We're done. We're done professionally. Am I in focus? Am I a little soft? As I mentioned before, Overkill, Starbreeze, and I guess the Payday franchise that they own don't really abide by any normal trappings of the game industry, which is great, and I think why more than ever now we need to watch Overkill resurrect this franchise so that they can get a third one in the series. Just to recap what Overkill / Starbreeze, but they're essentially the same. That's a big thing. Not gonna talk about it here. But what I will recap is everything that they've gone through since Payday 2. The biggest controversy with that game being the safe drop system and adding microtransactions, which they sort of rectified and have taken big strides to get past that, and I appreciate it. I know that some fans in the community are still pretty salty about that, but those fans are still playing the game, so who wins there? Also, they went through and made Raid Shadow Legends. This video is sponsored by, just kidding. We couldn't get a sponsor if we wanted. I'd sponsor me. When you can't be funny, you reference something. What was I even talking about? I don't even remember. Play back the tape. What was I talking about? Thanks, Jim, for playing back that tape. That's what I needed to jog the good old noggin. Anyway, they made Raid World War II, and that game was just Payday, but set in World War II. If they would have branded and gone with that approach, I think it would have been a better game. But it wasn't, and it was a catastrophic failure, and they tried to recover from it. And then they landed the big score, which was Overkill's The Walking Dead, a game that didn't even get all the promised content. I have a lot of bad feelings towards the owners of the Walking Dead franchise because they didn't even give them a chance. Like, the game had some promise. I watched plenty of people play it. I mean, heck, I was pretty tempted to play it at first, but the fact that all the planned DLC, all this love and attention that Overkill usually gives to its franchises just kind of pulled out under the rug, and what fans expect is just not given to them. And I think that stain on Overkill's reputation is largely in part due to the owners of the Walking Dead franchise, so, But all those sort of pale in comparison to the misguided steps of one Bo Anderson. You see, the company was started by Bo and Ulf Anderson, but Ulf kind of saw the light at the end of the tunnel elsewhere, and so he split and has his own game studio and is doing pretty good. But Bo would continue at the company, running it straight down as if he was the captain of the Titanic himself. So when the end of Payday arrived and all the stories started coming out and Starbreeze and Overkill Studios ended up getting raided by the police, what were fans left to be hopeful for? How could we reasonably expect a Payday 3 with all of this going on? Like, it was just sort of dead. But there were a lot of people that kept it afloat and kept using the social media accounts and kept pushing the game until finally we got a whole new fucking DLC. They are coming back full force. While the DLC is a lot of reused assets and similar ideas taken from other heists, it's just cool to be able to support the company again in hopes of one day getting Borderlands 3. that's not the right game. Payday 3. That's the one. We already got Borderlands 3. I haven't played it yet. But along with that, we also got a whole new character customization with the suits. Not a big deal, and this should have been something that was in the game from the beginning, but they had to add whole new animations for all of this stuff. So these packs weren't just easy cash grab asset flips, throw it out the door. They actually had to put some thought, care, and effort. There's new voice lines, there's new music. It's clear to me that the passion that was there from the beginning is still at Overkill or Starbreeze or whatever the fuck. The passion's hidden in Almir's beard. Can you hand me my water? Yes, this is tap water! So, what I really wanted to call attention to today was the 4 steps that Overkill's doing to resurrect their own company to save their franchise. The first step, as any AA member would tell you, is finding that you have a problem, admitting that you have a problem, figuring out what that is, and then the second part is to take action and kick out the problem. Bo Anderson, he's the problem. Give him the boot! 3 is to tap into what the audience already loves. See, as I mentioned before in my previous video, the Payday community has been here and been around and been vocal for so many years. They love the game, they've stuck with it, they've put in thousands of hours. It's a dedicated group of people who just wants more. They want the company to succeed so that they can get more content. It's just a smart business move to tap into what the audience wants. And really, all the audience wants right now is more content and hope. 4 is to slowly and methodically rebuild your empire. You can't just keep releasing 500 DLC packs. You can't. You can't. I'm done. If within the next year you start doing 10, 20, 15, I'm done. I'm out. But there is a clear consumer fatigue. Space these out. Make sure that they're good every time, or at least serviceable. And then you can continue to rebuild the Payday franchise. So let's just take these 4 steps and let's fix another company's problem. Oh, I don't know. Let's say Gearbox with their big asshole known as Randy Pitchford. So you start by finding out the problem. Randy Pitchford, every time he opens his mouth, something goes wrong inevitably. 2, either find a way to restrict him or, I don't know, have him run all of his tweets through an editor, or do something, get rid of him for all I care, for what most people cares, and you can just sit back and watch everything kind of calm down. You wouldn't have had the launch of Borderlands 3 so heavily botched if it wasn't for him. 3, tap into the market. Borderlands has one of the biggest communities in all of video games. Once you get rid of Pitchford, there's hardly any problems. You can just talk to fans nonstop and get a great consensus as to what they want. And 4, you don't have to really rebuild here, but your brand and your overall image is no longer tainted by Randy Pitchford, so therefore you are fine. This is how you save Gearbox Software with the Overkill mentality. So, more than just pointing and showing reverence to Overkill for what they're doing and how hard they are striving to keep their game alive, I decided to throw my hat in the ring, and I came up with a few options to keep things spicy in this very long and tumultuous relationship that I call Payday 2. Praise good modded maps. This game has so many talented modders. They do so much amazing work. I cannot tell you the excitement that I felt playing Minesweeper in the Payday engine. That is some cool shit. The talented teams of modders just want recognition. They do so much amazing free work, and the only attention that they get is from streamers who just want more content. If there can just be something, like a little verified badge for some of these amazing modded heists, I think that would go a long way in the community. And my final idea, while very outlandish, another ARG, people go nuts for that stuff. Why not have one for, I don't know, the release of Payday 3. I don't know what it would be. I have no idea what it could be. There's so many story beats left to kind of, about. I don't think it would fit, and I don't know how you would do it, and I really have no other suggestion than throwing this out into the ether and just being like, there it is, that's an idea, it's there, take it if you want. But knowing Overkill, they've got something up their sleeve, even if it's not the ace of spades, but more like a 10 of clubs. Still good enough to continue your hand of poker, but they're gonna get by. They're not gonna win all the chips. They can't. They're like a AA studio. If you haven't seen our last video on Payday, I get really emotional at the end. I'm not gonna get emotional here. I don't cry, okay? I didn't cry in that video. I got emotional. It's different. But you can click at the end of wherever for it. It's good. I like it a lot. I put a lot of heart and soul. If you want to see Evan cry, though, you can watch the 3DS video that we'll link to at the end. I think he does cry because he's a little baby boy. Got him. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, or I'll put you in a headlock next time I see you. Stop. Stop. I'm sorry. Is this your set? I'm sorry. Is this your? Are you the director? Oh my God.